this squared away. All right. Kill the volume. Good evening, everybody. What a wonderful, wonderful weather we're having. What do we got going on right now? I'll tell you in a second here. It is raining outside right now. It is a wonderful, wonderful 38 degrees. It's actually going to stay right in that range, too, so it's not too bad. But we're going to get rain all through the rest of the night and into tomorrow. Now, I know that Randy Romine's excellent video today. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's something that's important. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit. And it's something that I think is majorly overlooked. Majorly overlooked. But anyway, before we jump into everything here, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would make sure that we need a live on that topic. Well, we can talk about that a little bit tonight, too. I mean, I'm sure what we're going to talk about is not going to take an hour and 20 minutes. Imagine that we might talk about something else. But anyway, so let us, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness, and just let's enjoy each other's company. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here because we are not going to have that. So we're going to have fun, enjoy each other's time tonight. And but anyway, I was going to say, yeah, be nice or no Santa. Exactly, Wolfang. Exactly. So back home, they're supposed to be getting an ice storm tomorrow up in New York. So I told my sister, I was talking to her, and I said, "Good for you." It's not gonna be too bad, White Family Homestead. We're not looking at ice. It's gonna be in the 30s. 38 right now. It's supposed to pretty much stay that way. So we're gonna stay above freezing. Uh, but that's a good thing. But yeah, is JJ in here tonight? I don't see JJ in the chat so far. All right, well, I guess maybe JJ. I don't know. That's weird. He's always in the. Oh, there he is. Okay, there's JJ. I was gonna say, wait a minute. JJ's always in the chat. Where's JJ? All right. We're gonna talk about the other topic a little bit more about what I did in my earlier video today, but we're also going to talk about the topic of this video: should military service be mandatory? And the reason that I kind of brought it up, there's some K-pop group over in South Korea, and the oldest member of that K-pop group just turned 18, and he has to report for military service. They do, I guess, a year and a half over there. Okay. So my take, and I'm going to give you my take, and I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say as well. I think that if used properly, okay, now notice how I say if used properly, not to feed the war machine and continue to, you know, take over the world. Well, now in Israel, right, in Israel, what they do over in Israel is they 2 years of service when they become old enough, and then they're on inactive reserves, I think up until the age of 40, if I'm not mistaken, or if they stay in or whatever they do. I will tell you this. I know from personal experience, I think that it is a very good thing uh, to make these young men and women grow up. I don't see that as a bad thing. So now you're probably going to say to me, well, Ed, what about your daughter? Would you want your daughter to go? If I was going to have my daughter go into service, now obviously Heather's a very smart young lady. I would have her go in the Air Force if I had to have a choice, as opposed to the other branches of the service. But I do believe that it's a good thing, especially for a lot of these troubled youth that we have out there. makes them grow up, and they learn respect, discipline that maybe they did not get at home. And so to me, I do believe that it is a really good thing. And U.S. Air Force isn't all peaches and cream, man. They got good food though, JJ. That I know. That I know because when I was done for Bragg, like I think I've talked about this before, um, 2 years mandatory military service or civil service in order to graduate high school. Just a personal view, not an active advocate of it. Well, I don't believe that my grandson just enlisted in the Navy. He has been out of school for a year, worked some. That's all right, Patty. I mean, the service, like I said, is it for everybody? Probably not. Uh, does it help you mature and grow up pretty quickly? Pretty quickly. Um, I heard something that like, and I don't know if this is true anymore or not, because I mean, I've been out of the service obviously a very long time, but I heard they're not even allowed to yell at them anymore, or they can go and have a timeout or some crap like that. That's not the service I went into. That is not the service that I went into. But one thing you can't forget, the mandatory vaccines are tied to military service. So, well, yeah, and that's not, I don't like that part of it. Obviously, you guys know, how I feel about that. So, but again, it's like it's a tough call. It really, really is because I think that here's one of the things that I think should be an option. Okay, so I know back in the day, uh, you know, 50s, 60s, stuff like that. Judge a lot of times gave somebody that did something stupid a choice. Either you go to prison or you go in the military. And, a lot of times people go, okay, well, I'll go in the military because then you're still free. But, again, I think that's a good thing because I know a lot of judges realize that once they go into that military that they're going to grow up. And so I think that that can be a good thing. But yeah, you can still be rejected for health reasons. I don't think that rich people's kids should be able to get out of it because they're in college. I don't think that that is a good thing. I really don't. So it's not like, okay, there's us elites and we get away with whatever and we'll just go to college and not have to worry about it. And that's the rest of you peons go do that. I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing. Obviously there's a lot of different levels in the military based on intelligence. And I joined the Navy in 1969. I wouldn't do it today. And that's the problem with what they're doing now with the whole woke stuff with the military, mandatory this, mandatory that, as we all know. Those are problems that are there. And you have some people that are conscientious objectors. So, what do you do with those type of people? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs in the mix of that. Obviously the Amish don't participate in any of that. So, do they get a pass because of their religion? I mean, so those are things that those are things that need to be thought about. Dated a guy who was given that choice because became special forces, got into college after he was medically retired, became a lawyer. It works. Oh, you know what? And see, that's what my point. Uh, I do believe it works because it helped me grow up. But if you go in, you want to have some college first. That definitely helps. I realize that, but again, college isn't for everybody. I wasn't ready for college when I came out of high school. I mean, I had no idea, what I wanted to do, for the rest of my life. My dad only joined the Navy to dodge the Vietnam draft because he knew he was just being spent to be expendable. Chance of capture, huge risk, left behind. He probably would have never joined the military. And again, a lot of people did that. A lot of people drafted in, during the Vietnam War, they ran away. But some college means you can get to be an officer. It depends, Randy Romines. That would absolutely depends. So But it's a tough call. It really, really is. And there's a lot of personal experience and things like that. I think that you know it does make you grow up, and I think the discipline is good. But how were our men and women used in that service? That's where I have an issue with right now. Is you know uh, I think Afghanistan was unnecessary. I think Iraq was unnecessary. That's my take. We've lost a lot of good men and women because of those two conflicts. For what? Realistically. So, that's where I have a lot of draft dodgers came up here to Canada. Yep, no, I know that, Janet. A lot of them did. So, but and so that part of it I have an issue with, and I will be the first to say that. What do we got? 282 in the chat. We got 88 thumbs up, guys. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time. It also really makes a big difference with the algorithms too, and I think that is that really really helps. Also, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. But yeah, so like I said, it's a tough thing because where are they going to go? What are they going to do? What do they have to do? And it's been an all volunteer army or military, I should say, for a long, long time. And so I don't know. It's hard because you need to have the men and women in the service, but how they're utilized, I sometimes have an issue with. Obviously, I you know I'm a big believer that we need to take care of our own country. So if we had the men and women go into service and they did work in country, in our own country, to help with stuff like that, I think that that's a good thing. But there are plenty of positions within the service other than frontline battle. Oh yeah, absolutely, a lot. There's a lot. So, and do you just draft? Do you just force men, or do you force the women as well? Obviously, in like Israel, obviously they men and women all go in the service. So it's a mandatory thing over there. It's a mandatory thing in South Korea as well, depending on what your population is. So it's a hard call, and they've had the draft here before, obviously in the United States, as we know. So yeah, some young people today couldn't deal with it, so don't force it on them. Question mark ponder. Yeah, we live in a society today with there is a lot of people have like they're not getting basic skills of anything, even regular life experience. There are a lot of pampered individuals out there that just don't know what to do and how to deal with things. So that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing with it. But so I don't know what the right answer is, to be honest with you. Um, I know that, like I said, I think there should be that option if you have if you're going to go to jail, and I'm not talking about for shooting people, that type of stuff, but for like drug offenses or those type of things, maybe stealing a car or whatever, you get caught. I think you should get that option to either go into service or go to prison. And I think a lot more people would choose the service over prison. So, but I retired from the Air Force in 2016. Not a moment too soon. It's a clown show now. Well, I'll tell you, I know that like when I was down in Permanent Party I was down in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. It was the way that things were done, I didn't always agree with, because just the way that the games that were played and those type of things, it's just I don't know. It's most kids today will sleep till late morning, wake up at 4 a.m. with people yelling at you. They'd have a meltdown. Yeah, right. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle it. They would not be able to handle it. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. I think the service can be a very good thing, but again, it's not going to be for everybody, you know. So that part of it's tough. That part of it's tough. So hard to say, guys. Very, very hard to say. But and I bought Ron's book, The Bug Out Garden, for Christmas. Oh, very cool. Yeah. So anyway, Ron Foster, just so you guys know too, he's sending me a bunch of books, and we'll be doing some giveaways with those. And so we will definitely be doing. I still have. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what I am so bad, and I think it was. If I can't even remember who won it, to be honest with you. I have an idea who won it. I still have the Bug Out Gardening Guide, and I never got it out to the person that won it. So if you're watching and you know who I'm talking about, um, you've already emailed me about it. Email me again if you know who so I'm going to be able to tell through the email that you know Donna, you want it. Okay, shoot me an email again, Donna, and I will get that out to you. I'm just there's been 10 million things going on, and I do apologize, but yeah, if you would won that, just shoot me an email again, and it'll just show me again that you have, because I'm sure you had your address and everything in there. But I get a lot of emails, a lot of emails, guys. So I was thinking about that. Was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I don't even remember who won that stupid book. And I shouldn't say stupid book. Let me show you. I got it. See, and it's sitting right here. Okay, it's all dusty. Let me wipe the dust off of here first. Hold on. All right, and that's the book there, The Bug Out Gardening Guide by Ron Foster. Ron's got a lot of books out there, folks. A lot of books. So the book is still here. I just shoot me another email. Make sure I have your address, and I will get that out to you. But all right. So I do want to talk more about what I when I did my earlier video today. I would like to talk more about that. Everybody, when you hear people talking about prepping, and they're talking about yeah, have medical supplies, having you know band beans, band-aids, and bullets, right? That's like always the top three things that people think about. But what they don't really think about a lot is it's very easy, realistically, if you are thinking ahead, to do preventative maintenance, if you will, to make sure things don't happen. Making sure that if you're, you know, going to the toilet, that you're making sure that, especially after defecation, that you're washing your hands. Making sure that you're washing your hands before you handle food. Making sure the food is clean by making, getting it, washing it, proper, hygiene. So, Jason is doing a live stream at 9 and how bad will 23 be? Ah, okay, that's cool. Very, very cool. But my biggest thing, and I've said this to you guys many times in the past, the biggest killer in a post event, it won't be lead poisoning. There'll be a lot of people that die from lead poisoning, don't get me wrong. But you will see the majority of people are going to die from dysentery, because we live in a country with all kinds of water access all the time. It's been cleaned, it's been, all this type of thing. So people don't realize how, in a post event, when you're not having these plants cleaning the water for you, and you just can't turn the tap on and do that. An example, right? I collect rainwater off the camper, okay? And I use that for washing up. I'll use it for washing dishes and stuff like that. Well, guess what? There could be birds pooping on top of the camper. That's going to get mixed in with it. So, if I was going to go to try to drink that water, which I wouldn't unless I had sterilized it and cleaned it first, you know, people don't think about that. They don't think about those things. It's not something that they have to worry about, so they don't worry about it. Making sure if you have a wound, like I said, when I talked about I got a scar from here. It goes all the way down, right through here. This whole area right there is a scar. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's where I had cut myself on the roof over here during the summer. All right. I cleaned the crap out of that wound. And, I made sure that it was really cleaned well. I used hydrogen peroxide, bacitracin and all those type of things. I kept it wrapped up so, that it would get a chance to heal and obviously get the bleeding to stop. So, but yeah, it's just having the right things in place, the right medical supplies, and antibiotics if you can have antibiotics. Because I'll tell you right now, getting a kidney infection can take you out in a heartbeat. So if you get a UTI and you don't treat it and you don't get it taken care of, you're going to be in big trouble. And yeah, stop bleed does work very well. Yep. But yeah, you're going to be in big trouble if you're not prepared to deal with those things, and you don't want to think about those things. Okay, it's hard to see the scar. It's hard. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like right through here. That's where. So it's right through here, and then it comes up down into my hand that way. But it was not a fun thing to have happen. But here's what happens in a post event. Let's talk realistically, right? So right now we're in our houses most of the time. We're not doing a lot of outdoor stuff because we don't have to. We go to work, we come home. You might pot around your yard, cut the grass, whatever the case may be. Well, here's a secret for you. In a post event, you're going to be collecting firewood. You're going to be having to go out there and dig a latrine. I'm sorry. You're gonna, because you're not gonna have plumbing. You're gonna need to figure out how are you gonna wash up every day when you don't have running water. Are you gonna heat that water up ahead of time? If it's the middle of winter in New York State, and you better have that wood stove rocking, warm that water up and wash on a regular basis. It's really, really important. And, it's what is flushed whites. It's a long way to the White House. That's funny. I like that. But again, these are things that people, we just take them for granted. We just really take a lot of things for granted because if we get a UTI, you go to your doctor and the doctor says, "Yep, you have a UTI here. Run this course of antibiotics, and you'll be all set." No big deal, right? So people just that's not something that's prominently on their mind. If you get the cold or the flu, you know, you're trying to rest and get better and whatever the case may be. Well, in a post event, do you have the other manpower around where you're able to rest? Because if you are Mr. Lone Wolf and think you're going to be doing this all by yourself and you get sick, uh, who's going to take care of it then? You know, nobody else. So, you may be out there being sick, and then that cold or that flu could turn into pneumonia, and it'll kill you if you don't get it taken care of. So, these are things that people really, like I said, they don't think about them because they're not anything that's big and scary right now. But the reality is, it is, you know, it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a really, really big thing. So, having plenty of soap, being able to wash things up, making sure your food is clean before you're eating it, making sure, like you said, you're going to be out there, you're going to be digging latrines, you're going to be out there in nature. And, so when you come back, I mean, I know when we do anything around here, you come back and you're dirty and you're sweaty and all those type of things. And so, not a whole lot of fun, but you better get washed up afterwards. when a lot of times at the end of the day when I've been doing something and I'm washing up and the water's brown, I go, man, that's a trip. So, all right, Donna, thank you, and I will get that out to you, I promise. But James says, no, not everyone is capable of serving. You're right. Not everybody is. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, we have a country, the United States, with a huge weight problem. And so that is going to disqualify a ton of people, because they're too heavy. So what do you do there? There. Do you now become and dictate to parents? See, here's the problem that I have when I see kids overweight. Okay, to me personally, that's child abuse. It's child abuse, because what you are doing is you're setting up your child for a lifetime of failure. Um, you know, but when you have these young kids that are at 7, 8 years old and are already 40, 50 pounds overweight, number one, it's not healthy. Number one, but can I be rejected for being too skinny? I think you can, to be honest with you. I actually think you can. So I'm not sure to be. I don't. Let's put it like this. I At 6 foot tall, I went into the military at 142 pounds. During basic training, when most people lose weight, I gained 7 pounds. That's not the norm. you know, I was a skinny kid. But you were constantly hungry, and yeah. But yeah, it's just everybody becomes fit and trim in an SHTF situation. Well, they sure will. There's no doubt about that. The food is not going to be there. Fast food is not going to be there. The processed food is not going to be there. It's going to be, yeah, I gained muscle, exactly. Yeah. No, I came back and I was in pretty pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. I'll never forget. I had the drill instructor. We got done with basic training, and the drill instructor said, for most of you, this will be the best shape that you've ever been in your life. Now, I got out of the service and I got into working out. And so, like I said, I got done with basic. I was 149 pounds. When I came home, I was like 160, something like that. Dropped down to like 152. And then I got into working out. And I went from 152 pounds to 172 pounds. And had a 30.5 inch waistline, and I was jacked. I was jacked then. That's the best shape I've ever been in my life. But I was like, that was my obsession, was working out. I loved working out. So, but uh, I used to be a size 3. Well, like I said, I won't ever see. I don't believe I'll ever see, unless we are in a true SHTF situation. I don't believe I'll ever see a 30-inch waistline ever again. That's yeah. I was a skinny young man, but you have no responsibilities. You go to the gym every day. You just have fun. So yeah, I'm trying to. That's what my layer is, to help me get through the first couple of months of SHTF. I think it would do every person well to be in the military for at least 2 years. Like I said, I under the right circumstances, I agree. Like I said, it definitely helps people grow up. That's for sure. I am a small wolf from a small pack. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I can hear the rain hitting out here right now. Yeah, it's been. And the last thing we need down here is more rain. And I think that we're looking at. Oh yeah, getting citizenship. Oh, that's, yeah, Starship Troopers. Yep, get citizenship by serving. Yep. That's actually an interesting way of doing it too. Yeah. Yeah, if there were perks, I actually, yeah, if there were perks like that type of thing, that you got extra benefits, whatever by serving, I think that'd be a great incentive. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like that. I like that thinking. But but anyway, fluffy people will live longer at SHTF event. It depends on how fluffy, Janet. Yeah, depends on how fluffy. Because if you have to go anywhere, any great distances, if you're carrying 70, 80, 90 extra pounds, you're not going to do well. You're not going to do well. When I was married, my husband, I was a 0-0. After 3 kids and working full time, I went from 5 foot. I'm 15 years older, or 50, and I'm 15 years older and don't mind a bit of weight. I may not have made the military. I may not have made the military had I gone in. Like I said, some people, a fluffy is 50 pounds. I like that fluffy. You know you've worked in the medical field when you call Neospore and bacitracin. Well, you know, right? But yeah, like I said, it's just it's a hard call. I think if we needed to do it, like I said, I don't know. It's. I know people who join the military to get citizenship. Yeah, I've known a couple. I had a couple when I was in that were trying to get their citizenship by becoming, be doing the military service, and I don't think that that's a bad thing in that case. So it's a hard call, guys. It really is, as far as that part of it goes. Part of me says yes, part of me says no, because if they're using our young men and women for fodder for a war, fat people don't break a hip as easily. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but it's a lot harder fall. Right, and that's I can prep too said. What if you were sent off to a fight an unjust war? Well, realistically, aren't most wars unjust? Realistically, I mean, you're basically fighting for big business. Realistically, that's just an opinion. I shouldn't say that because I don't want to be accused of saying any false information. But you know, recruiter put weights in one girl's clothes. Oh my God, that's funny. I have a hard time with going off and fighting for oil or going off and fighting for minerals and those type of things. So I do have an issue with that. But I do think in a lot of cases, military service helps people. It's like I said, there's that give and take. It's a hard call, but depends. I don't know. So anyway, that's but so anyway, but yeah, like I said, when it comes to when with being in the medical field, and I look at things a little bit differently when it comes to prepping because I realize medically how fragile things will be, how bad things are going to go sideways in an SHTF situation. So, what do I mean by that, right? So here's you're going to give a real bad case of reality here, okay? Let's say SHTF happened tomorrow and you're receiving cancer treatment, right? Because you have cancer. The reality is you're probably going to die of cancer because there's not going to be treatment for you. It's not going to be available in a true SHDF situation. So that you're going to be done that way. If you are an insulin dependent diabetic, my mother is an insulin dependent diabetic. Okay, so I'm not saying this to be mean to anybody because I would lose my mother. You are going to be gone. You're not going to make it. All right. If you are on life saving medication that you have to have that medication to survive, you're not going to make it because that medication is going to run out and you're going to be gone. If you are mentally retarded and it comes to that point, there's not going to be anybody there to take care of you. And I'm not talking high functioning, I'm talking about the ones that are, sit around in wheelchairs and can't function, period. There's not going to be anybody there to take care of them and they're going to be gone. If you are in a nursing home, uh, if you are unable to take care of yourself, there's not going to be anybody there to take care of you. If your family doesn't come and get you, and 9 times out of 10, when people are putting in or being put into nursing homes, it's because the family doesn't want to or they can't. And I'm not saying, so please don't say that I'm being mean because I'm not. But I'm going to tell you what, I worked in a lot of nursing homes through the years, seen a lot of things, and I see how often most people come and visit their loved ones in a nursing home. And there's some that are there every day because they physically cannot take care of their loved one, but they're there all the time. They're making sure their loved one is taken care of and those type of things. That's the exception, folks. That's not the norm. The norm is that can't or won't. Right, and that's exactly where. Right, exactly. But the norm is mom is too old and we don't like her anyway, so we're dumping her in a nursing home, and then we'll go see her at Christmas, and we'll go see her at Easter, and we'll put on the big show like we give a crap, but they don't. They don't. I've seen it, so you can't tell me otherwise on that. Okay, so SHTF happens. You think those people are going to go get grandma out of the nursing home and go take care of her because she's a lot of care? Nope, they're sure not gonna. So those folks are not going to last long. There's a lot of people out there. If you are on dialysis, right? Just do what you got to do. Tell your loved ones how much you love them and kiss them goodbye because you're done. It's a hard thing. Something as simple as an appendicitis. Let's talk about that. I've had an appendix. I had my appendix out when I was 9 years old. Okay. Because of the medical care that we have in the country, that's why I was able to take care of that, right? But if that care is not there, I would have been dead at 9 years old. Actually, I would have been dead at 4 because I had meningitis at 4. So you can die from burst appendix. The reality, what happens a lot when your appendix bursts, all that poison goes out through your entire system, and yeah, you could absolutely be dead because of that. Now I will tell you this. Nowadays, the way things are now, so I'll tell you a story about my situation with my. Well, first of all, I'll tell you, at 4 years old, I had meningitis, and they did a spinal tap, which I remember. Now think about how many memories you have at 4. Not very many, and it is usually something traumatic that you remember. I remember getting my spinal tap. Now, they didn't tell me when I was 4 years old that it was a spinal tap, but I remember the pain. And so, yeah, it's definitely, you know, they had the priest come in and give me my last rites because they didn't know if I had. Well, I ended up not having spinal meningitis. I had meningitis of the stomach, so they were able to treat me, and I ended up obviously survived. And so, but I was given my last rites at 4 years old because they thought I was going to die. At 9, I had my so I was complaining of pain, right? Complaining of pain, and my mom was married to an interesting individual. I will say that. And so I kept complaining. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. Hey, Hunter guy, modern medicine has allowed people to live without many consequences after a long-term SHTF. Things like sleeping around, drug abuse habits, to simply swimming in dirty water will kill lots of people. I agree 100% with that. Great comment, and thank you very much for the donation. I'm going to add on to that here in a minute after I tell this story, but thank you very much for the donation as well. Stupidity will kill a lot of people in an SHTF event. Just we'll touch on that some more. Uh, but anyway, so I was complaining of pain, complaining of pain. My stepfather at the time said that I was faking it. Well, eventually, my mom decided, yeah, stupidity kills now, but it'll be worse in SHTF, Lady Kickboxer, or Lady Kicks 36. I'm sorry, but so what happened was, mom finally said, something's wrong with this kid. I'm taking him to the doctors. I had a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. I was admitted into the hospital at 4 o'clock. They did my surgery at 6 o'clock. 1974. I spent 7 days in the hospital. 7 days. That's how bad it was. And I almost died then. They said, had my appendix burst, I definitely would have died. So it was very, very touch and go. So I'll tell you another story about that. You're going to love this one. So I was, they were admitting me, but the kids unit was full. So they had asked my mother, they said, could we put him in this room with this older gentleman? He's in there for, broken hip or whatever he was in there for at the time. And my mom was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. He's been around older people his whole life because we used to go see my grandparents all the time. So my roommate was, I believe at that time, was like in his 70s and was recovering from it was either a knee or a hip or something like that. And so this one particular night, so my bed was right by the door. His bed was over here on this side. In the bathroom, we had to buy my bed to go into where the bathroom was in the room. And he was a really, really sweet old man. I remember that. I'll never, ever forget that. And so I'm laying in the bed one night, and my bed is shaking. It's shaking. And I wake up from my sleep, and he's on the floor. He had tried to get up and walk to the bathroom, and he fell. So he had shaken my bed, and he says, Ed, well, Eddie at the time. He's like, call the nurse. I fell on the floor. And now this is, so I hit the call button, and I stayed awake. The nurse room, and I'll never forget this because it's one of those things, again, remember certain events in your life. And I remember going, comes in the room, and I go, he's down there. And right back out, right back to sleep. I don't remember what happened after that. I was so tired. You're a little kid and you're tired, but I stayed awake long enough to make sure that they knew where he's down there. And then I went right back to sleep. But yeah, he was sweet, sweet, sweet gentleman. So never forget that. It's just one of those memories that just popped into my mind. But anyway, I want to go back to, but anyway, yeah. So without modern medicine, I'd have been done. I'd have been gone at 4 years old. In a post-event, minor things are going to kill people that don't kill people now. And so you have to be really paying attention. A small scratch that you cut yourself any way that it happens, that could cause a lot of damage. A lot of damage. It's not quite time yet, Jen. Not quite time. We're getting there, though. But so you have to really be paying attention to injuries and those type of things. Now, in a post-event too, you're not going to be. There's a lot of idiots out there, folks. I mean, really, a lot of idiots that do stupid. Oh my God, that was funny. Yeah, you're. Is that true, JJ, or are you just BSing? But anyway, there's people will take stupid chances now. Okay, people will take stupid chances now. So in a post event, that's not going to change. So there will be an attrition, if you will. Stupidity will get weeded out. The gene pool, true story. Oh wow, that's wild. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Um, the gene pool will get stronger. I guarantee you that, because stupid people are not going to make it. So in that case, then stupid people will not be breeding with other stupid people, making more stupid people. I mean, it sounds terrible for me to say it like that, but that's reality. That's reality. So, unless somebody's there babysitting them, in the family. So, but yeah, stupid should hurt, you know. But in a post event, it will get weeded out. I like to call it natural selection, and it will happen. And a lot of smart people are going to die too. You know why a lot of smart people are going to die? Because they have no skills, they have no training, they don't know what to do. So you're either going to adapt very, very quickly, or you're going to be done. And that's the world we're going to be living in. So it's, people have this delusion and fantasy that it's going to be this awesome, really cool thing and blah, 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 blah. And in reality, it's going to straight up suck. So, when I tell you that I'm not looking forward to an SHTF event, I'm really truly not. I hope it doesn't happen. Uh, you know, Ed, my bumper sticker said stupidity is painful. Yeah, but the sad part is really not. It's really not. So I look at some people, and I've met these type of people, and I'm sure you guys have too. I've met these type of people that you go, how do you survive? How does this person live because they're that dumb? They're that dumb. I'll tell you another true story. When I was in nursing school, there was one particular young lady that was in the class that I was in that was a moron. We're going to do egg count. Yep. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to tell you the story real quick and then we'll do egg count. I promise. I know now we're behind what a surprise. So she was a moron. And if I have one prejudice, guys, and I think everybody has a prejudice for something, I have a prejudice for stupidity. If I'm talking to you and I realize you're a moron, I'm going to end the conversation. I'm going to say it's very nice meeting you, and I'm going to be out the door because I don't have that time to waste. I don't. I'm sorry, that sounds horrible, but I just don't. I don't. And so this particular girl in nursing school was an idiot. She should have never been in there. She should have never graduated nursing school. So we were in our last rotation. So, we're in school for a year and we're in our last rotation and we're working at the Jewish home in Rochester. So that was our last place that we had to go. And one of the other girls comes up to me and she goes, Ed, I had to come and tell you this. She goes, you are not going to believe this. This girl's name was Frida. Okay. She goes, I got to tell you what Frida did. And I literally was like, oh my God, what did she do now? Because it was like screw up after screw up after screw up with this girl. I mean, she was that dumb. Okay. So the instructor had come into the room and said to Frida, Frida, I want you to take Mrs. Smith's temperature axillary. So the instructor leaves the room. Now, for those of you that don't know, what axillary means is under the arm. You put the thermometer under your arm, you put the arm down, and that's called axillary. That's now now at this point, we were 2 weeks away from graduating from nursing school. We've been in school for a year. You should pretty much know what axillary means if you are a nursing student at this point. You would think, right? So the instructor leaves the room. The other girl is standing there. She says to her, what's axillary? Scary. Now, I did hear through the grapevine that Miss Frida took her boards 3 times and never passed. Thank goodness, because she would have killed somebody. When you give people, as a nurse, you are in charge of people's lives. If you make a mistake and you screw up as a nurse, you can kill somebody. It's a reality, okay? And this girl would have killed somebody. She was that much of a moron. So, anyway, true story. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do egg count time now. I apologize for the lateness of that. So, anyway, egg count. yes or no for thick neck, and what do you guys think the number of eggs are today? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses. And I know I sound harsh saying that, but I'm a realist. I generally don't pull punches. I just say it like it is. Some people like that, some people don't. So, and the ones that don't, to me, that's their problem. That's not my problem. All right. If you, oh well, she asked the other girl. The other girl told her where to take the temperature. If you had the same exact guess as Brenda Mackey, who is now a first-time winner, because I don't think I've ever called Brenda Mackey's name before, with 2 eggs today and no thick neck, then you are 100% correct. So, congratulations, Brenda. You've won absolutely nothing. So, there you are. But yeah, I'll, t- I'll tell you this, okay? And it sounds terrible. My cousin Doug, who was very, very smart, very, very smart man, okay, married 2 morons. He's been married twice, and both of them were idiots. I mean, complete idiots. And maybe that's what he wanted because he could control them or whatever. I don't know. But I will tell you another. You guys, I know you guys like stories. I will tell you this story. He was married to his first wife, and we were sitting around the kitchen table, all right, at my grandmother's house, and we're having a conversation. So it's my grandmother, my grandfather, I was there, Doug was there, my sister was there, Doug's wife was there. So she's sitting over here in the corner, and we're all having. I don't even know what we were discussing. We are discussing something, and out of the blue, his wife goes, "Pizza," and my grandmother, rest her soul, she was awesome. She like shakes her and looks and she goes, "What?" And this girl again says, "Pizza." And she goes, "What about it?" She goes, "Well, I like pizza." And my grandmother goes, "Well, why did you say that?" She goes, "Well, you guys were all talking and I didn't know what to say, so I said pizza." That's how dumb this girl was. That's how dumb she was. Scary. Scary, scary, scary. So I just I, I to each their own. You can be with whoever you want to be with and have at it. But both of my wives were very intelligent women. I had to be with somebody that I could have a. No, she was not being sarcastic. No, trust me. If you had met this girl, she was not being sarcastic. She was a moron. She was a moron. So, but yeah, it's she was not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Let's just say that. But but anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, I need to be intellectually challenged as well, and that's no, she was not. No, she was not, Mark. I didn't. Let's probably guess she wasn't my type. I'm gonna tell you what, you could be the most gorgeous chick in the world, but if you got nothing between your ears that you can't have an intelligent conversation with, that'll ruin a relationship. To me, it would. I like I said, for me personally, looks are important. Obviously, we all have our taste, we all have our flavor, which is great. But I need to also have somebody that I can have a conversation with because you're only going to spend so much time in bed, and you know you're going to get up. The rest of the day is going to be there, and you got to be able to have somebody that's bringing something to the table. So But Mark says my ex was kind of hot, kind of dumb but hot. That it does happen. There's a lot of. I'll tell you what. There's a lot of women that are highly, highly intelligent that will pretend to be dumb because a lot of men are intimidated by intelligent women. Um, I don't get it. I don't get that. It doesn't make. Ed, you like redheads? I've never. Well, my ex-wife used to go. Her hair was brown, and she would do red highlights here and there, like in the fall. She would, and sometimes she would go red. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm attracted. So like I said, for me, blonde, brunette, black hair, redhead don't make any difference. You know, if they're attractive, and if they can carry on a conversation, then that's even better. A sense of humor is great. I'll tell you what, I can honestly say this: my ex-wife had the best, sharpest wit of anybody I've ever known. I mean, of anybody. I couldn't even compare to her with her wit. So she was sharp like that. She was really really good like that. So, but a natural redhead like playing with fire. I've heard that. I've never dated a natural redhead. I will say that, Jay. Never have. But no, life is interesting. It really, really, truly is. But I just like a man who has hair. Ed, you are the exception. Well, thank you. Well, let's put it like this: the hair that I don't have on my head, I make up for on the rest of my body. I am a silverback gorilla. That's what I tell people. I am a silverback gorilla. That's my extra layer to help me stay warm. But fortune cookie says, "Ew, come on." There's nothing wrong with being hairy. Now I'm not hairy like George the Animal Steel, who was a wrestler back in the day. Do you put that on your dating profile? Yeah, I'm a silverback gorilla. No, I just have my shirt off so I can see all the chest hair. Uh, you want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you a funny story real quick. Real quick. So one time, and also I say that, hey Mario, young bears travel about 200 miles to find new territory away from big adults. After a long-term SHTF, predators like wolves, bears, etc., will take back their territories if the police aren't trapping and releasing anymore. That's a great, great point. Thank you so much for the donation, and that is an absolutely true statement. Absolutely true statement. The wild animals will definitely be back in droves. Well, think about this, Mario. Here's one that people don't think about. How many animals are hit on the road every year? Every year. Uh, Nobody's going to be driving anymore, so there won't be any more animals being killed that way. So that's something to think about too. So got to tell you this funny story. So one time I got this bright idea. Now I never would ever wax my chest ever. I'm like I said, from the neck down, it's just I'm just a big hairy individual. So I get the bright idea one time. My ex-wife. I'm gonna have her wax my back. Right? Great idea. Great idea. So she did half my back. Right? Did half my back, and I went done. She goes, what about the other half? I'm like, no, no. Oh my God, that pain was. So for you ladies that go and wax, and you wax your nether regions and you wax your legs and you do that, you have my empathy. You have my empathy because that is painful. Yeah, the 40-year-old virgin. When he did that, Jay, in the 40-year-old virgin, He did that, had never done it ahead of time before, and he did it. That was the first time of him doing that. So that's, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm not quite that hairy, but I'm hairy enough. But yeah, no, when she did half my back, you big baby, yeah, I will absolutely admit that. Max says that's too much information. Never did it again. Never would. That hurt so. Oh yeah, that was not a good time. I can honestly say that that was not a good time. So yeah, no, thank you. And as far as the chest, never happening. Never getting that waxed. No way. So in the winter, women are like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, in the wintertime, you're not. Women can take the wintertime off a lot of times as far as shaving their legs and or waxing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I will just say that. So, well, all right. We're sharing like way, way too much information in this stream tonight, but why not, right? All right. We're going to do some shout outs really quickly here. We have Icky Can up in Canada. I would ask you to please support him. There is Angry Prepper down in New York City. Really good dude. Jason is awesome. I would ask you to support him. You have Alaska Prepper with Rudy up in Alaska. I kept saying Canada forever and a day, so I'm actually got it in my brain now that he's Alaska Prepper, right? So you have Alaska Granny as well up in Alaska. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel, and he also has My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy, really good information with his channel. So definitely check him out as well. Really good builder. He is up in Canada. You have North Shore Preparedness, also in Canada. There's Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks in New York. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. Really cool story. Definitely check that out as well. You have Marfugal News out on the West Coast in Seattle. Adam and Dax doing their thing out there. Really good channel as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar, and that's Cody. Really good information with his channel as well. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team, two different channels. A lot of cool stuff with them. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. So nice people. Let's see. We have Green Greg's. There is Southern Prepper One. You have Gray Man Prepping, St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There's Doug and Stacy. A lot of good information with Doug and Stacy's channel, so definitely check them out as well. You have the Nomadic Movement, who are down in Panama. Nice young couple. Actually, right now, I think they're up in Connecticut, opening up a coffee shop up in Connecticut. There is the Green Dream Project, who is out in Arizona. So they're nice people out there showing people how to live in the desert. You have Camping with Steve at Steve Wallace up in Canada. Really good dude. Definitely check him out as well. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. You have Boss of the Swamp. I've been following him for a long time. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Good channel, the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Definitely check him out. You have Patera with Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper, Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer. There's Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear, who is in the Canary Islands in La Palma, and I think he's been spending a lot of time in Germany lately. You have Mary Greeley News. She's giving you all the updates with Yellowstone and everything that's going on there. You have Adapt 2030. There's Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, you better get your weather from Ryan Hall, y'all. Real good channel. He presents the information. He lets you make a decision of what you want to do with that information, and I like that about that. So you have Deep South Homestead. There is the Outsider. You have the Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed, Townsend's, The Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness, who is in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and Little House Off Gritty. So that is the shout outs. And I still got to transfer this off of this folder that spent a week outside. It happens. So I was going to look at something real quick here. Hold on a second. There's one more I want to add on, but I have to find.
My name.
Hold on a second. Let's see. All right. Another channel here, Homestead Preps. This is John. He wants to let everybody know that when he hits 1,000 subscribers, he's going to be doing a medical box giveaway. He has given me one of those medical boxes as well, and I actually keep it right by the corner by the door. And actually, I'll just spin this around real quick so you guys can see. Right. Let me get the right way. Right there. That box right there. That is a medical box. He plans on giving one of those away when he hits 1,000 subscribers. So definitely go check his channel out as well. All right. Let me see if I did this. Make sure I give you guys the right name. And that's Homestead Preps. All right. So just so you guys know, when he hits a 1,000 subscribers, he will be doing a medical box giveaway. All right. So, all right. So anyway, really quickly, I do want to mention my hands aren't hairy. No, I do not have hairy hands. But what is the top 5 differences between New York and West Virginia? Oh, that's easy. We'll do that. I'll do that in just a second. Real quick, though, I do want to mention I am still doing the Legacy Freeze Dried Food Sale on my website. That will be ending on Friday. That is going to be. If you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, you click on store, it will drop down. You will see Legacy Foods. You click on that, it will take you to the store within the website. If you decide to make a purchase of Legacy Freeze Dried Foods, you can save 20% by using the discount code Winter Solstice 20 or Solstice 2022. Sorry, Solstice 2022. So definitely take advantage of that. Freeze dried food is a really good thing to have in your long term preps. All right. So I'm going to answer this other question here. They asked, what's the top 5 differences between New York and West Virginia? Weather is going to obviously be one of them. Much longer winters in New York. The winters down here are not going to be anywhere near as long or as bad. Now, I am up in the mountains. So if I was down in one of the valleys, it would be different. But so I'm going to get a little bit colder temperature where a lot of times in the valleys they won't get the snow. We may get snow up here. All right. But definitely weather is a huge, so that's one. A lot less populated in West Virginia than it is in New York. So that to me is a tactical advantage. And I think that that is a good thing. So that's the second one, right? Uh, but better gun laws, way better gun laws. Uh, you don't have to have a pistol permit in West Virginia. You just need to have your driver's license and be a resident of West Virginia. So that is the third reason. So the gun laws down here, open concealed carry wherever you want to go without anybody giving you a hard time. And so that is a cool thing that way. Taxes is the fourth one. All right. The taxes down here are way cheaper than New York State. New York State, the taxes absolutely suck. And there's no other way to say it. And the fifth reason, the main difference between West Virginia and New York is the politics. That's a big difference. New York State, even though the majority of the state land-wise is very conservative, the cities are all very liberal. So the Democrats always will win in New York State. The Republicans are never winning in New York State. Well, down here in West Virginia, there's like in the last election, Trump got 86% of the vote. So that kind of tells you where the political leaning is down here in West Virginia. So those are the five things, realistically, you know. So taxes here in Tennessee are extremely less than my Florida property. Oh yeah, yeah. If the difference between the taxes in New York and here, it is absolutely crazy. Yeah, in New York, there's taxes on your taxes. Yeah, there absolutely should be. So absolutely should be. All right. Yeah, it's just I'll tell you, it's night and day. People are a lot more laid back. If you want to add that in there too, I find the people in much nicer down here. And there's one like up in New York, you have your county tax and your school tax. Down here, it's one tax, and that's a big difference. There's a state income tax. Yep, but it's not as high as New York. So I don't think anyway. Will I go on vacation with Heather this winter? Probably not this year. I don't think so. So, friend in West Tennessee land taxes are $14 a year on 3 acres. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap. Yeah, you wouldn't get that in New York. That's not how it would be. Yeah, and Heather's working as well, but she could still go on vacation. It's just a matter of getting things set up. But yeah, so probably not this year. We'll probably do something next year. So, all right, let's do this, folks. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? We have Franklin County, Ohio, Tucson, Arizona. We have Central Kentucky, BC, Canada, Auburn, California, Maine, I believe that is, Connecticut, Inverness, Florida, with Clyde in the house. Glad to see you here. Waterloo, New York, Lakeland, Florida, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Central Iowa, Fort Worth, Texas, West Virginia, Charlotte County, Florida, BC, Canada, Erin, Tennessee, East Central Illinois, Greenlee County, Arizona, Bumstead, Florida, Union City, Pennsylvania, Churchville, New York. Kathy, glad to have you here. St. Augustine, Florida, Missouri and the Ozarks, Lake Cumberland, Kentucky, Selva, Kentucky, Selman, Oregon, Western New York. We got Missouri in the house, West Haven, Connecticut. We have Hamilton, Ohio, with Tim in the house. Bay of Islands, Newfoundland in Canada. PC Beach. Got Maryland in the house with Hunter Guy. Edgewater, Florida with Judy. Northwest Ohio with Devil Dog Prepper 99. So, see if we get some more coming up here or not. Nothing else is moving at this point. I hope the chat didn't freeze. Oh, there we go. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy in the house. So anyway, guys, we're all over the country. South Arkansas, Lake East, Ohio, Southwest Virginia, Montreal, Quebec, Canada with Daniel. Very nice. Glad to have you here. I didn't do Ryan Hall. Well, I I thought I did Ryan Hall. I may have forgotten, Jay. I apologize. Ryan Hall Y'all is a great guy, guys. If you're going to get your weather from Ryan Hall Y'all. So, but anyway, we are a huge network of people. We are all over the country. We truly are all over the world. So that is, that is. I did Ryan Hall. I thought so. Okay, everybody else is saying yes, I did. I thought I did Ryan Hall. All right. We got Mary Ann from Utica, New York in the house. So my land taxes are $4,800 for 0.26 acres in Montgomery County, Maryland. Okay, so I'm going to tell you when I lived in Greece, New York, and this is now 10 years ago, right? Been out of there. I've been out of there 10 years. 10 years ago, on a quarter-acre lot, 1,912 square foot house, my taxes then were $5,000 a year in Greece, New York. If you want to go and be in one of the highest tax counties in the country, move into Monroe County in New York, and that is one of the highest tax counties in the entire country. Insane. Insane. So even after you would pay your property off, let's say you owned your property free and clear, you still would have to pay $5,000 a year. And that was 10 years ago. So I was paying $9,000 a year on a third of an acre right outside of Chicago. Wow, that's insane too. That is insane. And they wonder why we leave those states. They wonder why we move to better places, better weather. Oh my God, right? But yeah, my property in New York, and the one that I have now, the taxes, like I said, they doubled because they doubled my assessment last year, which was total BS. But less than 1,000 for 100 acres in Missouri. Wow, that's wild. So, yep, it's some places, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous uh, to try to survive in, and they wonder why people move. They wonder why there's a mass exodus out of California. They wonder why there's a mass exodus out of New York. When I was in North Carolina, I lived in North Carolina for a year. When I was 27 years old, I lived in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And most of the people that I hung out with down there were from New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, all Northerners that got out of there, that got out of the North. It was so funny, you know. But yeah, it was all people got out of there for all the same reasons, you know. And then, like an idiot, I went back, but had to at the time. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't have my awesome kids that I have now. And so, you know, you would wish I had been out sooner, but things happen. All right, guys. So I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean, getting the porn bots out of there, and anybody acting stupid. That's very much appreciated. A lot of times, the stupid people don't even bother coming in because they know they're going to make one comment and they're going to get blocked. So, you know, which is good, and it's how it should be. So, anyway, you know, I want to thank, you know, them. They do a fantastic job. I want to thank all you guys for being here. It's a lot of fun, these chats are. I know it wasn't like a super exciting topic tonight. We just kind of went off the rails after a while anyway. But it was something that I was just thinking about because I saw that article about the kid over in North or South Korea. So, but anyway, remember, guys, we are all in this together. We really truly are. We are one race called the human race. If we could come together, there would be no stopping us. There really wouldn't be. We are a huge, huge network. We're a huge family of people. And, you know, Off the Rails Productions. There you go. That's what I should have. That would be the name of a company, right? But, you know, we got to stop letting them divide us. And if we can do that, we can accomplish anything. Anything. Remember also to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care and that we love about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. If you stay positive and stay away from the negativity, you're going to be just fine. Uh, you know, set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen. And, that's all you got to do. Making forward progress is what it's about. So, anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great night. Be safe. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.